We start today with the confirmation hearings for Donald Trump's nominee for Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. We're going to look at the sort of good, although there wasn't much, the bad and the ugly. We will look at the protests. We're going to look at all of it. But one of the really kind of overarching takeaways is what a sad situation for the country, where someone so unqualified with no business whatsoever being in charge of the Defense Department and the military has been put in a position to almost certainly be confirmed. Yes, I believe that it is almost irreversible that Pete Hegseth is going to be confirmed. And part of it is this, we don't care. We'll show you. If it pisses off the left, it must be good attitude from MAGA. And we're going to get to that in a moment. First and foremost, the confirmation hearings plagued by protesters yelling things about misogyny and sexual assault and other elements from Pete Hegseth's past. Hegseth and his supporting staff visible on camera behind him, clearly prepared, simply do not react. If the protesters get too loud, you just stop and wait for them to be dragged out, and indeed they were. Here is, I believe, the first protester.
Thank you for figuratively and literally having my back.
You are a misogynist. Not only that, you are a Christian Zionist. And you support the war in Gaza by the Zionists.
Yeah.
I want to thank the authorities for their swift reaction to that outburst.
It was an outburst. Yeah. I believe that gentleman was yelling, "You're a misogynist." And I think he said a Christian Scientist or a Christian Zionist. Second protester also interrupting just about 1 minute later.
And readiness.
This is a woman, I believe, in a military uniform. I believe it's possible that in the room what she's saying is clear, and sometimes it gets reported, but I struggle to hear exactly what she was saying.
You may continue, sir.
Returning the Pentagon.
Okay, and then there was a third outburst, essentially 1 minute after that, and here this individual was sort of carried out in a way that I must admit was kind of visually compelling.
To the Pentagon and throughout our fighting force. In doing so, we will reestablish trust in our military, addressing the recruiting crisis, the retention crisis, and readiness crisis in our ranks.
Members of the security force will remove members.
And this guy, they've got, it looks like one limb per officer running out. And I have to, you know, the merit and value of the protest we can talk about. And this is like a time-honored tradition where people get into these confirmation hearings and they protest. But I have to say that whatever the merits of the protests are, and they are meritorious in my mind, because this guy, Pete Hegseth, is a total clown who has no business being in this role. The visual of the guy yelling while officers run, like we've got to get this guy out of here. If it takes 5 seconds, it's too long. We've got to get him out of here in 3. There is something visually compelling about that. So beyond Pete Hegseth's, of course, scripted opening statement and multiple protesters, then we finally got to the questioning. Once again, we're seeing big tech blur the lines between private industry and public government. Zuckerberg, Bezos, even Sam Altman at OpenAI are donating millions to Trump's inaugural fund because they say he'll lead our country into the age of AI, despite these same tech CEOs warning about how dangerous AI can be. Algorithms control what we see every day to serve corporate and political interests, which is why I've trusted Ground News for years to help me find the truth. Ground News doesn't tell you what to think. They show you each news outlet's biases, credibility, financial incentives, so you know who's benefiting from the way each news outlet spins each story. You can even filter out certain sources you don't want and stay informed without getting buried in the noise. Stay engaged with Ground News, who is fixing what is breaking right in front of us: trust and transparency in the media. Ground News is giving my audience 50% off the same Vantage plan that I use. Go to ground.news/Pacman. The link is in the description, or scan my QR code.